I guess probably the first thing that comes to mind about how she was a little bit different in our family is by the time we went to elementary school, Lynn and I showed up at elementary school and we had just assumed that all little sisters talked nonstop because ours did. We got there and it just seemed to continue that way. We came back fairly often to this state to visit Aunt Connie and our grandparents, and I can remember many times in the car, Lynn would say, "Mom, just make her be quiet so we can get some sleep." She really liked to talk. But she used it to good advantage in life. As we went through school and all the different places we went, we started out as probably being recognized as Lauren and Lynn and then our little sister. And it rapidly became, after they got to know her, Lesa's two big older brothers. It happened quickly in time. We often spent summers when we were growing up at our uncle's ranch. And she often got left behind because we would go up there and break horses. We would ride and drive tractors, and she didn't like that too much, so she was left behind with Mom and Dad. And we were in junior high, and we had an aunt and uncle came by to stay with us. We'd not met any of the three of us before. They were there staying for a night to move on, and within 2 hours of when they arrived, she was packing for a 2-week trip to Alaska. Lynn and I didn't think that was particularly nice. We thought maybe we shouldn't send a little sister out to the wilds of Alaska, and we complained to our mom. Her answer was very simple. She asked first. So we took it out. We were always learning from our little sister to try and be a little bit more outspoken in some of the questions because she asked a lot of questions. In Idaho, we could start driving when we were 14, and she and Dad had agreed to a price on a car, and so Dad sent me out to find a car that we could get. I found a pretty good one. It was a nice, straight body, ran well, and it had this one little problem. My mom used to dress her in pink, and she didn't like pink too much. And this was a nice green Chevy, but it happened to have pink fenders, and it wasn't particularly colorful. And so it ran great, and so we bought it, and of course it was less than a week before she convinced Dad that it had to have a new paint job. So, but that was the beginning of the journey where Lesa became on her own to be independent, to do the things that she wanted to do, and to go where she wanted to go. And she started to accumulate what I would consider her larger family. You'll notice that there's the 2 boys and 1 sister. I think she always missed not having a sister, and so she just collected her own. Lois and Barb were definitely the 2 sisters that she didn't have, so she just added them, and we're happy to have them. She had a way of sharing her family with her job. When she found that she had classroom kids that couldn't have someone to play with their Flat Stanley project that they had, we many times got pictures of Flat Stanley to take around and share with some unfortunate child that got stuck with all the things we sent them. You know. But Stacy started out first. She took one down to the blue turf on Boise State and sent back a T-shirt that became fairly well used in the boy's memory, and he wore it to school pretty much all that year. And then it was Lynn taking one to Paris, and I think Carolyn sent one back for with saltwater taffy from the coast. But in general, she found a way to touch all of us, even as she continued her journey in life to touch all the rest of the family and acquaintances that she had. Her one great wish was to go to Tuscany. And we have a cousin who recently got married not that long ago, and as part of her request, she asked for a chaperone so that Carolyn and Ian had a chaperone on their honeymoon. Lynn tried to attribute that to his parenting skills. We thought that was probably more that she was a fun aunt. So it definitely took a high point in her life. If you notice the pictures, you'll notice that she's nearly always in the center. We try to tell her we teased her a lot. I should remind you that even my boys still today, we're always teasing her. We reminded her that she was short, that's why she was in the middle, but it really was the spark. She really was the joy of life. So, one of the things that she teased us back when is after she had her first hair return after chemotherapy, her hair came back brown. Of course, ours is no longer brown. So we had a lot of good fun teasing each other about that. But in general, what I would really like to say is that in her journey on life, she continued to collect friends and family. She has a huge extended family here in the area. And I thank you for being her friend and for being with her.
Well, Team Lesa has an additional meaning for her colleagues at her beloved John Allen Elementary. For us, it means tremendous educator and mentor. That's what she was to us. Lesa began her career at John Allen in 1978 as a teacher's aide. She was hired the following year as a second grade teacher. She taught 29 plus years at John Allen. Except for 2 years of teaching first grade, she taught her entire career in second grade. She retired from John Allen November 11, 2008. That month we were so proud as she was named District Employee of the Month. Lesa exemplified the joy of teaching and learning. There was never too much on her plate when it came to her classroom. She would always go above and beyond for her kids. She thoroughly loved what she did, and it showed every day with a smile on her face and a sincerity in her heart. Kids were her passion. She taught her students to read and write and love it as she did. Lesa's gifts to her students were endless. She always had extra books for Christmas book exchange. Should one of her kiddos' parents not be able to afford it, she had one. And should a student forget a book at home, she had one. She's taught her students to love travel and adventure when they took trips with Flat Stanley. When a student did not have anyone to send Flat Stanley to, Lesa's brothers, sister-in-laws, and cousins helped out. No student ever went without an adventure. I have heard comments from several of her former students, and some are in the audience today. Emily Hedrick said of Mrs. Jones, she always had the best party closet. There was always tons of stuff like cups and plates and crafts and games. It was like a treasure chest. Hunter Myers said, I loved Mrs. Jones. She was one of my favorite teachers, and we always knew we were loved. And I think the best example of that love is the story of a student that Lesa and Linda Glasgow shared for 2 years. Lesa and Linda taught next door to each other. Lesa second grade, Linda third grade. And this student had a lot of energy, to say the least, and required a lot of movement. He was one of those students that teachers always remember. Bright, verbal, impulsive, on the go, messy, challenging, but very cute. Lesa would send him to Linda when he needed a break or a hug. And then the next year, Linda would send him to Lesa when he needed movement or a hug. And they loved and shared him completely. Lesa had this amazing ability to make a student feel loved and at the same time demand greatness and inspire that student to work to meet his or her potential. Well, this student is now in high school, and Lesa is still in his heart and his mind, as he recently sent a request to friend Lesa on Facebook. As a colleague and a mentor to us, she taught us many tricks that only a seasoned teacher would know. She wouldn't let me say all of them. Like she helped us take control and taught us how to take control of situations with parents. To be patient and understanding with our own children when they were going through difficult times. And how many things we could get on a sheet of construction paper without having any waste. And how to teach a a child what one drop of glue looked like. But most importantly, Lesa taught us when to pray for snow. Lesa had a very crafty and ornery side to her. She once stole my Aflac duck and took it hostage. She blindfolded the duck and took pictures and then threatened to make him walk the plank with more pictures. And if I didn't get into a West Wing demand, she taught in the West Wing. Speaking of that West Wing, Lesa was great at leading rebellions. John Allen is the home of the Knights, and I have been dubbed lovingly the Queen by the faculty. Well, one day Lesa walked into my office and said, "Queenie, we need to talk." It seems there was an issue with the heating and cooling system. They were freezing in the winter, they were hot in the summer, and she wanted it fixed now. I soon received a proclamation from the West Wing that they were going to overthrow the throne and take control of the castle if something wasn't done. Well, I responded with something very queenly, but I immediately jumped on maintenance to get it fixed because I wasn't about to mess with Lesa. She had a following in the West Wing. I loved her sense of humor and how she made things fun throughout the halls of John Allen. We will all remember Lesa for her unwavering dedication and devotion to her students. Her wonderful laugh, her infectious smile, her winning personality, her deep strength in the face of adversity. But most importantly, we're going to remember Lesa for her zest for life. We are given many gifts during our lifetime, ladies and gentlemen. We were given Lesa. You can't ask for more than that. Oh, one more thing. God, I hope you have the temperature right, because if you don't, you're going to have a rebellion on your hands. Lesa, we love you.